Welcome back to the Movie Draft House. I'm your host, Mark, joined by a lagging Jeff.
Is it me or is it you?
It can't be me. Fixed my issues a long time ago, sir.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it could be me. But I'm here. Everything's good, right?
I am your host, Mark, joined by co-host Jeff.
Didn't we just did that, though, right?
No,
Who's lagging now?
I'm actually... Anyways, Jeff, what's the theme this month?
Oh, this month's theme is missing persons. If someone's gone missing, we're here to find them. And last week we watched The Vanishing, and this week we watched The Wicker Man from 2006. I have to say that because it's a remake of a film from 1973. And the movie we watched stars Nic Cage and Ellen Burstyn. Ellen Burstyn returning from her role in that damn movie. What the hell was it called? Shit in your butt. Ass to ass. Yeah, that one.
No, the Aronofsky film. What fucking Life of Pi. No.
Requiem for a Dream.
Requiem for a Dream.
Hate that movie. And I didn't like her in it either.
I thought she was actually the best thing about that movie. I thought she was.
My favorite part was
anyways,
the credits at the end.
Hit the back catalog to get our review of that one.
Like seeing her face in this movie gave me a panic attack. I hate that movie so much.
I'm sorry.
All right.
Now
you didn't watch.
You'd never seen this, right?
Right. The only thing I'm familiar with is Not the Bees. They're in my eyes. Not the Bees. Now,
Not the Bees.
You're familiar with Not the Bees, right?
I'm familiar with Not the Bees.
Okay, but I watched this movie, and there was no Not the Bees in the cut I watched. Did you get the bees?
They're the bees. The bees were when he's being a. Well, maybe did they release bees into?
So there's the bees,
thing?
right, where he does get stung by bees and shit like that. But there's the famous scene where they put like a thing on his head and then pour bees inside. And it's like, not the bees, not the bees. How do you not know this?
I don't like. I watched the same movie you did.
Okay.
So, I don't know.
But there's the whole meme.
I don't
the
know.
whole
I don't
reason
know.
people have heard of this movie is this one damn scene. So anyway, this scene is actually in the director's cut. So if you watched the cut like I watched, you didn't get Not the Bees. I'm going to send you.
I didn't get Not the Bees either.
Yeah. So we watched the
because I rented
theatrical.
this movie on Amazon. So.
I'm sending you this, and you can feel free to edit in the sound if you want. But I think most people know about Not the Bees.
Not the Bees. All right, so you had never seen this, right? Correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay. I feel
Are
like
you watching the Bee
we're
movie?
still lagging. No, I'm not watching the Bee movie.
I don't think we're lagging. I think I'm just pausing at weird times and you don't like it.
Oh.
But anyway, so no, I had not seen this, and the only thing I knew about it was this one scene called Not the Bees, which was not in the cut that I watched. And I'm guessing
it's probably better is because you had a certain expectation going in and then it didn't get delivered,
but it was
so
like
now you
the
had to
movie ended,
reset your expectations.
The movie ended, and then another scene lights up, and I'm saying, so maybe Not the Bees is this like a secret scene, like a Marvel movie? No, it's just not in the cut I got. No. And how is there original theatrical cuts out there anymore? They should only have the Not the Bees cut or the bassoon cut, but mostly Not the Bees cut.
I wish they did have a version of this movie called Not the Bees cut.
I think that would.
Anyway, this is directed by Neil
LaBute.
And Neil LaBute hasn't directed anything worth anything. He's got a pretty
he directed
big filmography,
The Wicker
though.
Man.
This movie has a 3.8 star rating on IMDb.
Yeah,
Just so you know, I think that's the lowest I've ever seen. It's certainly the lowest, I think, rated IMDb movie we've watched.
Oh no, all the stuff I picked.
I don't recall seeing a 3.8 rating on
Okay,
IMDb
look up.
for
I
any
got
movie
the
we
hookup
watched.
2. Because there's no way that has. I'm looking up. I got the hookup 2.
Okay. I mean, this. So
3.1. I got
this
the
is
hookup 2.
really okay.
Terrible movie. One of the worst films.
I take it back. It's bottom 2 then. Anyways, so I picked this movie because it's been a while since I've seen it, and I thought it came out in like the early 2000s, but this is a 2006 film. But it screams outdated 2006. Just from all of the technology to just the way that it's kind of shot. Just very like 90s feeling to me.
Yeah.
And
So why did you pick it? Why did you look at a list?
well, I picked it because it's because it fits the theme, right? It fits the theme.
Yes.
And it has Nic Cage. What I remembered, it had Nic Cage being Nic Cage. Now, we don't get Nic Cage being Nic Cage until like 3/4 of the way through this film.
Yeah, this movie.
Although there are scenes, there are scenes where he gives kind of right on the cusp of classic Nic Cage
near the end,
then
you kind of start getting.
He reins it in.
Yeah.
Well, I like the schoolhouse scene where he was kind of unhinged in the schoolhouse scene, but he was more a subdued, unhinged there. I like he goes into the schoolhouse and it's got these teacher and all these like preteen girls, and like there's writing all over the board. Like somebody took a lot of time to write all over, and chalk all over the board. He just goes and wipes like in the middle.
Yeah, that was funny.
And writes the girl's name.
Just to write
and
one
I was
name.
like, oh, that's a dick move. That's
That's this movie. That's Nic Cage, this character in this movie. So,
yeah.
Also, I did watch the original, much like I did last week.
Oh,
and
look at you.
That remains true in both films. The lead is a dick. And, like, the way... Now, honestly, in the original, he's actually within his jurisdiction and shit, you know, but he still does a lot of things that I would call dickish and like pushing people around and just kind of swinging his authority that he may not have. In this movie, he does not have that authority. He's not even an active duty officer. He's on like, what do you call it? Some sort of leave.
He's on an he's on like an administrative
on administrative leave. He gets a letter. And then he shows up in a different state. Not only a different state, but he's a highway patrolman, right? Now, I'm not slamming highway patrolmen, but they have their jurisdiction. And I don't know that highway patrolmen do murder investigations. Help me out. In the state of Florida, do highway patrolmen do murder investigations?
Yes, they will, but there's caveats to it. Let's go in the police corner for a minute.
Thank you.
So, in most states, the state's highway patrol has jurisdiction all across the state. Like California Highway Patrol, I don't know, and that's what Nic Cage is a part of. They are in most states, the highway patrol is the top kind of police agency in the state.
Really?
And so,
in
Florida, it's a little bit different. Florida Highway Patrol typically only does crash and roadway investigations. But, I mean, there are things that stem from traffic stops and traffic accidents that may lead into other types of investigations to where Florida Highway Patrol would have jurisdiction to investigate those, and they would. But for the most part, Highway Patrol would then, they do their thing here in the state of Florida. They do their thing, and then like a county law enforcement agency would pick up the adjacent investigation. But like in states like Georgia and I know Pennsylvania, their highway patrol pretty much oversee everything. And so I don't know how it is in California, but I could very well see California Highway Patrol having a very far-reaching authority,
but not outside
when
of
it
the
comes
state,
to
because they go to like
no,
Oregon, right?
right. I think it's Washington, but yeah,
Washington. You're right.
No,
because it's right off of Puget Sound or whatever.
Yeah, they wouldn't. And in the movie, for its credit, actually has a character that says, "You're not anywhere near California."
But
and he's
nobody,
like, "That's okay."
Yeah, but I mean, granted, we end up finding out this is all a ploy, and so that's fine at the end of the day. Why they're all acquiescing to this douchebag, but when you don't know the story, and you don't know what's going to happen at the end, this guy's just coming into what seems to be a weird, peaceful cult. You know, they're a cult, but
yeah,
you know, as far as we can tell, they're not hurting anyone. And then he just pushes everyone around and treats them like shit. Now, this remains...
It's the method and how he does it.
Yeah, he's an asshole.
That gets
and it's
me.
the same in the original, except that guy is within his jurisdiction, but he even is more of a dick, I think, in a lot of ways, because he starts like looking down on them, and he's like, you should be teaching people about Jesus, but what they're teaching them about is penis. And I'm not even joking. Like, the original is this movie, but a whole hell of a lot hornier. Like, it's horny. There's lots of sex, lots of nudity, and it's insane. It's a better movie, but it's insane. Like, they're dancing around a pole, and then the teacher's like teaching the kids, what does this pole represent? That's right. It's a phallic symbol. Penis. And then like they have bushes shaped like penis. It's a way crazier movie, but I kind of liked it.
It's got Christopher Lee in it, so
yeah, so that's the other thing. It's like gender swapped. So over on that one, there's no like gender commentary really in that one. This one, it's an all female, largely female
there's a lot
village.
Of gender commentary.
But the dudes are sort of secondhand citizens. They're just used for sex, you know. So it's this kind of flipping of expectations. Where in the other one, everyone is pretty much down to pound. And there's like weird guys like giving up their sons to the hot bar lady. I don't know. And the music in the original is awesome. Like, and they have a whole thing about these like original pieces that the villagers sing. And it's really good. But this is
it a
like,
musical?
No, but they like sit around in the bar and sing songs. And then they have like worship songs, if you will, like at the final scene when they're lighting that Wicker Man on fire, they have a song they sing. And some of the songs are really, really good. But there's this one song that's insane. So the main character in the other movie is a virgin, right? And you don't really know that till you get to the end, but he's holding off till marriage because he's a Christian. He even preaches at the beginning of the movie. But there's a scene where like the barmaid's daughter is really hot, and she's in the next room dancing and singing and beating on the wall, essentially trying to tempt him into coming into the room. And it's crazy because she's ass naked, and it's wild, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. It was a good film.
Well,
I think we should have watched
good.
that one. I think we would have a lot more fun, because I was hoping, I had high hopes, and maybe that's misled, but I had high hopes that this was going to be so bad it's good, right? Like, it's just going to be Nic Cage turned up to 11 and just insanity and crazy shit. And there was some of that, a little bit. And there was even some craziness among the people, like when they would like fake laugh and shit, I found kind of funny. And there were some of the lines in the movie later on are pretty funny. I like that even though like in the original movie it's mostly men, so when the main character's going around punching the villains, he's punching men, but in this it's all women, so he's just cold cocking women throughout the film. Thought that was funny, but yeah, I really was let down. I didn't get what I wanted. As a fan of bad movies, I don't think this was bad enough.
I agree. I mean, it could have, like, there was different times where I thought, like, the movie was actually going for camp. Like, when he goes and visits the doctor in her house.
Yeah.
And then he leaves, and then he hides in the bush, like, right outside, and it's just got this big opening in the bush, and everybody walks right. And I'm like, this film actually trying to be campy, right? Like, and the answer is no.
It's no.
I just think that, right. It's not trying to be camp, although there's certain things that come off as camp. Like when he full Sparta kicks Lily Sobieski's character into the wall.
Really good. That was good.
I was like, holy shit. No, I just like, I really wish this film had been very much more skewed towards, not camp, but like just not trying to take itself real serious.
Yeah.
Knowing that Nic Cage can be kind of this, crazy character of himself. I mean, this movie came out before Ghost Rider, all right, and it came out right after World Trade Center, which Nicolas Cage got a lot of acclaim for his acting in. Right after The Weatherman, which is another film he got a lot of acclaim for acting in. Right after Lord of War, which he turns in a good acting performance in. And on the Tales of Adaptation in Matchstick Men. So like it's weird that like he decided to do this film and Neil LaBute and him are going, yeah, let's just kind of just like phone it in here. And he's just like, yeah, cool. This script seems off the wall.
Wasn't off the wall.
I'll just ham it up.
Yeah.
Right, and that's the thing.
Like,
like
he didn't dial it up. Like you've seen
right.
the film. I don't know if you've seen the film, but there's scenes from like Vampire's Kiss where he's just all the way on, and and he's not in this. Oh
no, and that's the thing. Is like, so he has a string. He's got like 8 films from 2001 to 2006, where I would say each performance in all those films is very good. And then for whatever reason, he was just like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm tired of acting. I don't need to do that anymore. And then he goes, and that kind of starts his downward spiral a little bit in Hollywood until Bad Lieutenant, Port of Call, New Orleans comes along. Have you seen that movie?
No.
Bad Lieutenant? Mm-mm. That's a good one. But I mean, there's just different. I don't know, man. Nic Cage is weird. His filmography is weird. I mean, dude's got 116 acting credits.
Well, we did Nic Cage month, right? And we're trying to remember what we watched.
We watched the Scorsese film. We watched.
Oh God, that was bad. Yeah. We watched Snake
Which one?
Eyes,
We
which
watched
was the De Palma film.
Snake
we watched
Eyes.
Pig.
Yeah.
And then
Pig, and then your favorite.
That one was really good. Massive Talent, right? And all of those, I think, were better. Than
Was that a 5? Wait, we
no,
watched,
because there was another.
This
it might have been a 5-week one because we also did you did for Draft a Theme.
Yeah. Well, this is like our 7th Nic Cage film.
Yeah, we've done a lot. I dropped a link in our Discord, and it's a scene from the original, and supposedly the characters are naked, but you can clearly see them wearing
they're
singlets. Right. It's weird. Like, and they're like, they're dancing naked. No, they're not. They're in weird flesh-colored bathing suits. But, that was another part of this
Not
weird.
the bees.
I honestly
Not
think
the
you should go
bees.
and watch the original. Did you watch Not the Bees now? My eyes.
Yeah, no, I've seen that clip.
Yeah. And that's
but,
why I was
like,
surprised when it wasn't in this.
I just there's different things. Like, this film doesn't go hard enough into what's going on this island. Like, there's this weird centuries old establishment that's got religious relics. He goes into this underground sewer
That was
place,
weird. And then
and it's flooded, and he comes across the statue of Jesus, and the film makes it a big deal is because he looks at the statue of Jesus like, oh my god.
Yeah, that's the only Jesus referenced in this one. And the original, the guy's hardcore about it. He calls them all pagans and shit. Another thing that was swapped is the character of Willow. So in this movie, Willow has had a relationship with Nic Cage. Supposedly the missing girl is his daughter. I don't even know if that's true or not. I kind of get the idea that it might have been as a way to connect him to the island, to lead him here.
Yeah.
In the original, Willow is the barmaid's daughter who has nothing to do with him. She's just the one that tries to seduce him. But it's a complete change, I guess. And so in a lot of ways, that's good for this movie because the reason he gets so invested in getting the girl back, Rowan, is because he's believing it's his daughter. In the original, the guy is just like the law. He's basically Judge Dredd. The law says, this girl's missing. You guys aren't helping me. And what really pisses them off is that they're not Christians. And, so he's going to go get people to come back and shut this island down. Doesn't happen. The endings are relatively intact in both films.
One thing I didn't understand is that, at certain points he starts feeling maybe sympathetic towards the men on the island, and he helps the guy on the dirt path that all the logs fall off his wagon or whatever, and the guy doesn't say anything to him, and he's like, okay, saved your life, but cool,
Whatever.
And he takes off on the bike, and then he goes into the bar, and it's a bunch of men, and he's like, hey, we gotta, whatever he said, we gotta go save the kid, or I know where the kid's, I don't know.
Yeah.
And nobody gets up, and
shit.
I was wondering, right? And I was like, and at the end, we learn that everybody's in on it.
I don't know that
And
the
I'm
men
like-
are. I feel like the men are still under the thumb of the women in this.
Maybe.
I don't think that part was an act.
But there's also scenes where it's Sister Summer's Isle
what a dumb
is
name.
kind of
That's
kind
Christopher
of
Lee's
this
name in the other
godlike
movie,
figure.
too. But yeah.
Yeah, right. But he's a lord. He's Lord Summer's Isle.
There's this.
in
You
that
should
movie.
see his get up in the final sequence. He wears full dress and stuff and long hair. He looks like Morticia Adams, but it's Christopher Lee. It's a wild movie.
Yeah.
I really wish we would have watched
mean-
that one instead.
Was this one rated R?
No,
I
but
don't
the
remember.
original was,
Oh.
and it used
See,
it too.
I don't-
Lots of nudity. The booby counter would have been
Yeah.
broken.
I don't know. It's and Nic Cage wears the dumb blazer in this entire film, and I'm like, bro, you're on vacation, man. You're on
He's
an
not
island.
on vacation.
Get I mean, technically he is, but he's on administrative vacation. But he's wearing his blazer, and the amount of times that this man dives into the water fully clothed,
Oh yes.
it was 5 times.
Oh yes.
And I'm like, dude, come on.
And then it's
What we
dry
doing?
shortly thereafter. He gets out of the water and he's dry again. It's awesome.
One thing, and also to point out is that this island essentially killed the plane pilot for nothing.
Well, yes, that's true because they want you to believe.
Why didn't they just put him in on it? Why didn't they just like?
Well, he essentially was the
bring him
kind of without him. Nic Cage doesn't make it to the island, and their whole point
Right.
is they want Nic Cage there. So why would they
Right.
punish him?
Right.
Right. So in the original cut, the guy flies his own plane, and so there's no pilot to get
okay.
killed, and then they vandalize the plane to keep him there on the island. But that makes a lot more sense in the original. But yeah, that guy was maybe he just knew too much at that point. I don't know. Like, dumb.
I don't know. Like it just didn't, there's a lot of things here that I'm just like, why did you do that? I don't know. The last 15 minutes of this film really make it watchable for me.
Yeah.
Because I mean, he just throughout the film, he's going from place to place, and he's just like, "You bitches, I know where she's at. Is she dead? I'm gonna dig her up." And he's just going around, and then he's kind of like just like brooding to different people, and they're just like, "Bro, like you came to our island,
Yeah.
why?" And then we learn that like, hey, maybe this child is his daughter, and so you would expect him to have more of a vested, like an emotional, like elevated emotions about it. He doesn't. He's just like, you should have told me. And I was like, what? Bro, your kid is missing now, and they're probably maybe dead, and you're just like, why didn't you tell me? I don't know.
But then he freaks
There's a
out
lot
later
of,
where he finds the doll. Tell me about the doll. Why is it burnt? Why is it burnt? And like that, we get that moment, which is kind of like the Nic Cage you want to see, but then it's over.
Yeah, but then I didn't understand like the premonitions that he's having.
Oh, so that's the thing that I don't get. There's the whole thing at that it weaves itself throughout the film is the opening scene where he pulls over that family that dropped the doll. And then the girl throws the doll out the window and it's hit by a semi truck, and he tries to save the little girl, but she looks like she's not into being saved and probably an evil little girl. And then
I don't consent.
And then like it comes and goes throughout the film. It keeps reminding you of it, but then it serves no purpose. It doesn't tie into the greater story.
It doesn't have anything.
It's just a trauma that happened to him.
No.
It's stupid.
All right. I just like I don't know.
I really
Did I
wish
lose
we
you?
would have watched the 73 one. And I think it'd be
Jeff.
the one time where you'd agree the older movie's better.
Jeff.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Jeffrey.
I guess you can't hear me. I can hear you. Mark.
Jeff.
Mark. Hello, Mark.
Jeff, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
What happened?
All right, let me text him. I can
I can hear. I can.
you.
I can hear you.
You can hear me. So, what's the problem, bitch? Let's see if he responds to that. He's not typing. Oh, he's typing. I don't know. That's not a surprise. Can you hear me now, Mark? Are we back?
Yes, we're back. I never stopped, so
Neither did I.
We'll just edit out a lot of that. It's
Nah,
science.
keep it in.
Anyway,
It's good shit.
anyways, let's talk about the ending real quick.
Yes.
And they're going to parade the parade of animals to where they are going to sacrifice the
Yeah,
kid.
you gotta love his bear costume.
Oh, I do.
The
I
bear
love it.
costume's awesome. It's way better than the costume he has in the remake or in the original. Because in this one, that bear costume looks fucking silly. And then he's running around in it without a head on. Really good. And then later he takes it off, but he still has the furry booties. Give me that shit.
I mean, I enjoyed that sequence, and then I enjoyed the set for the final, like when he gets burned alive. A full scale
Yeah,
Wicker Man.
I did too. Which it's right out of the remake or the original. I keep saying remake.
Yeah, I mean, pretty good set design. Yep. And I mean, this entire film, I mean, it's very, very good to look at. It's very nice to look at. Set probably somewhere in the Pacific Northwest, in actuality. But like that was the first time I thought, oh, the set is really good, and and they essentially burn it to the ground, and Nic Cage kind of goes out like a little bitch.
Yeah, like that's. So a movie where I'm going to quote unquote good guy, because frankly, yes, these cult people are evil. They are killing people,
right?
For their harvest. So they are evil, but man, are the lead character not unlikable? So I don't really feel bad for him. When the lead gets killed at the end of the movie, you should feel something. And to me, I'm like, good, fuck him. Nothing,
Well, I mean, it's just the film didn't do it. And I don't know about the original, but this film didn't do anything to kind of give Nic Cage any redemptive.
The other guy's worse. Like, I really hate the other guy because at least Nic Cage is looking for his daughter. The other guy is looking for a missing person. He's trying to do his job, but then he is just a dick about it. Like, there's a point where this lady goes like, "You need a search warrant." He just kind of pushes her out of the way and then starts searching. And all of that shit would be inadmissible, right? I don't know about British law because the other film is British, but I don't think you can just go pushing people around.
I mean, you can't, but also you can't get a search warrant for a person.
No, it was at a school.
Are you talking about the
original,
the remake or the original?
Yeah,
okay. But no, I just the ending was kind of. Oh, and did you like Franco popping up at the end?
What was that about? Yeah.
And Ritter.
Who was the other guy?
John Ritter's son.
It didn't look familiar, but yes, the Franco cameo, if you will, and it probably wasn't. He was probably lesser known, right?
Oh yeah. 2006.
Yeah,
he's just getting in. I think that was. I mean, he had been in the Spider-Man film, so.
Oh, that's true. So yeah, it would have been at least like, oh shit.
Yeah.
But I didn't care. Again, so they show at the end Lily Sobieski and then some other one. I think the woman who played Willow.
It's definitely your connection.
Picking up more guys at the bar to sacrifice them to the Wicker Man, I guess. I didn't need this. The original, they put the dude in the thing, they light the shit on fire, and the movie's over. That's how you end it. That's the best way to end it.
Or maybe
they added this other thing that I don't know why this is here. But we did get to see Franco, which is funny.
I wonder.
Are you there? Are you there? Yes, he's here. It's definitely your connection that is not good. LOL, he says.
Right.
Why do you think it's mine?
I don't know.
Okay, let's just... So I don't know either, but I'm not accusing you, am I?
You have in the past, though.
But I was right in the past because you took my advice and fixed it.
Yeah, but how do I know if it's me or not?
Well, right now, it's kind of hard to tell. We would need to do some testing later. But we don't want to do that on the call. Okay. But we could troubleshoot it.
That's
whip
correct.
out my tech support skills.
Okay.
But anyway, Mark.
All right.
Are you going to recommend The Wicker Man from 2006?
No. This is not a good film. And I was disappointed that we didn't get unhinged Nic Cage. So I am not going to recommend it. What about you?
Yeah, I was promised unhinged Nic Cage, and we did not get it. This is not a good movie, and it's not bad enough to be watchable. It's not good enough to be watchable. It's a little bit above mediocre, and that's it. So no, I don't recommend this, but I will recommend the original. It's batshit and amazing.
All right, so what are we watching next week?
We're going to watch the original Wicker Man, baby. No, we're going to watch Prisoners from 2013. It runs for 2.5 hours, Mark.
Yeah.
Wait, I picked this one.
You picked this.
Damn
Yeah,
it.
What the
Yeah, but it does star Hugh Jackman as well as Jake Gyllenhaal, Viola Davis, Terrence Howard, and Paul Dano. So this should be good, right? You've seen it.
I've seen it. It's very good. I'm excited. I would have picked it had you not. So join us as we watch The Prisoners and it's streaming on Max.
Yes,
by the way.
it's readily available, which is nice compared to The Vanishing.
Yep. Anyways, don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube when it pops up, so you don't miss any future content right here on the channel. And if you want to follow the podcast on all your favorite social media platforms, you can find us at Movie Draft House. We're on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, right here on YouTube. Just give us a like, follow, and a subscribe. Jeff, tell them where they can find you.
You can find my things right where you're listening to this. If you just search for Chronologically, you'll find our new season's going to be starting soon, where we take a look at the Quentin Tarantino films. We have wrapped up our Stephen King from the 80s. You can also check out another podcast I'm on, which is called All Things Being Sequel, available wherever you get your podcasts.
Wherever you get your podcast. Sounds good to me. I already have those things already in my podcast feed.
That's because you're a good man.
Thank you. Jeff, any last words?
Not one. Actually, go watch the original Wicker Man. Do that. Don't watch this.